Hello, my brothers and sisters on the Dragon's Path. Let me introduce you to someone that is already dear to me. I only know him for one day, just one day, and how he is actually a part of my life. And that is what you need to know from something like this, my brothers and sisters. Let me explain. First and for all, let me introduce you to Konda, my new dragon plush. Um, Whenever I saw him yesterday for the first time, I said, wow, what a beautiful dragon plush. And I was actually holding it. And I said, oh, perfect actually. Perfect to sleep with, perfect shape, perfect form. Ever since I was born, I always had a dragon plush by my side. Always had a dragon plush everywhere. And I wanted to nurse the dragon. I wanted to sleep with the dragon. I wanted to do everything with the dragon ever since I was a child. And now I cannot sleep without the shape of a dragon next to me once I go to sleep. And Konda had the perfect shape. You know, whenever I saw him, I said, oh wow, I had to buy this because he was very cheap. No one wanted him, but I wanted him. He was just the perfect shape to hold in my arms. Look at him. He looks like Quetzalcoatl. He's a bit the same. He doesn't have wings. He's just the perfect shape for actually to be in my inside of my arms, like between his tail. It's like yes. And you know, my brothers and sisters, things like this, items like this, seemingly lifeless items, becomes alive once you spend time with it, once you connect with it. And that is what I did for the first time. I whenever I saw him, I connected with a lifeless item, but I had this connection with the dragon. And I actually, whenever I touched him, I gave the energy to him because I knew I was bringing him home for that day. But that is not even sure that this item is perfect because items choose you, my brothers and sisters. Like lifeless objects like this, seemingly lifeless, whenever you give energy to them, they might become alive. They are surrounded by energy then. And then it's up to them to choose you. And that was the first night, my brothers and sisters. The first night whenever I came to sleep with him. Just like my previous plushes. My previous plushes are alive. They are alive. All of my items are alive. And that is what, yeah, you can say, how can they become alive? Because I love them. I connect with them. They are everything to me. They became a gate to my dragon. They became a gate to the dragon realms. And that is what I hoped to have with Konda as well. That he also becomes a gate to the dragon realms. That whenever I hold him, I can hold my dragon. Whenever I hold him, I can hold the dragons for my dragon realms. He even looks a lot like Lucifer, the dragon that I've seen in my dreams. He's so serpent-like. He's a great giant tail. It's beautiful. He is so beautiful, and that is what you need, my brothers and sisters. Not a lifeless object. Whenever you see a dragon but you don't feel anything for it, that is not good. That is not good. Whenever I saw him, I felt a lot, and whenever I touched him, I wanted to give him all my energy. And that is what, when it happened, my brothers and sisters, the first test happens when you close your eyes. Because I bought him because I want to go to sleep with him. I want to sleep with him in my arms. So then it happened, my brothers and sisters. I dreamt about Konda. I've seen him last night inside of my dreams, floating by without even wings, inside of a forest, a very greenery forest, that he was gigantic, towering over me, looking down at me. Whenever humans see something like this, they would be terrified, but I loved it. And that was a great test inside of a dream that I had. I saw Konda towering over me, but I didn't fear him. I love him. And whenever I woke up and I saw this face in front of me with everything that he had, I even squeezed him much more. That I wanted to give him all of my energy because he needs to be alive, because I gave him life. My dragon gave him life. Look at him, he's beautiful. I love him. Yeah, in this story, there was a story because this was actually in a theme park. There's a story that said it was an incredible monster that every human feared. everyone feared Konda. When they flee away and Konda appeared, it became much more of a legend that everyone feared the forest because of Konda. But I would love that forest, my brothers and sisters. That is the difference between us and humans. We don't fear them. We don't fear dragons. We don't fear their teeth. We are like them. We are the same. We are one. And that is what you can do with lifeless objects, my brothers and sisters. Your hand has a lot of energy. Whenever your hand connects with your brain, your mind connects with your soul, so you cannot lie to it. So lifeless objects, whenever you, and that is what I say to you, my brothers and sisters, whenever you have something, you on your dragon altar, for example, whenever you have something, so like an image of a dragon, but you don't feel anything for it, then what's the point? What's the point of having it? That is not a point. I've seen some things, my brothers and sisters, and I've seen mistakes. I've seen mistakes in some dragon altars, but I've also seen mistakes in the things that you might buy for your dragon. Mistakes because I felt empty shells sometimes. Sometimes with my brothers and sisters on the dragon's path, they want to have these items for the dragon, but not any item will be good because the items are choosing you. The items chose you. Whenever I dreamt of Konda, and he was looking at me with his yellow eyes, inside of my dream, it was more like a vision. I was actually I was loving it. I was not fearing it. I didn't fear it. I loved it, and I wanted to have him with me, very close. And that is that is the reason why I bought it, because he chose me, and it was love at first sight, you can say. And that is what you need for having objects coming to life. It happened before, my brothers and sisters, back in the day. There are a lot of legends like Robert the Doll or Annabelle, that is so-called demons that are inside of or around it, that is cursing the doll. Well, actually, that is not really true, because actually the owner of the dolls that become so-called alive are the ones actually who gave a lot of love to it. So much love that you can say that the items that are lifeless becomes alive. And because it has a shape of something that is alive, it helps much more to let it become alive. This, my brothers and sisters, I only have him for one day, but I can say to you, Konda is already alive. Konda is already connected. He is a part of my life already after one day. I also have other different plushes, like Spyro and the other. And back in the day when I was a baby even, I had this big plushy dragon. A plushy dragon that I really, really loved, but he became dirty and he was not being used anymore. But I know that this was the dragon with the most life the most life inside of him. It becomes alive, and that is what in religions they don't like, that they are cursed, and inside of these movies they immediately say it's being cursed by a demon. A demon is inside of it, so you have to be careful for it. So a lot of movies are being made demonic, even that Konda will soon be possessed by some demonic entity. No, it will be possessed by the dragon, and this will become yours, you and this plush that is seemingly lifeless, but for you it's alive. So now, whenever someone takes it and takes it for them, or dishonor it, for example, or throw it away, then of course it will react. It will react to it because you are the owner of it. You are connecting to it. Now you and for example Konda, me and Konda, we are now connected to each other. Now if someone steals it or takes it away from me, now Konda will react to it. Now the dragon will react to it, of course, because it's surrounded by dragon energy. And that is also what sometimes happens with other lifeless so-called objects. They will react to it because it belongs to you. Just like, for example, my necklace was also in the first day lifeless. It was given to me by a witch. She said to hold it always. It's almost 20 years old, and now it's alive. It's not a lifeless object anymore. Do you know how much blood I rubbed on it? It's just connected to me and my objects. The objects that I have on my dragon altar, none of them are meaningless. And sometimes when I see a dragon altar, sometimes I see a meaningless altar. I see an empty altar. I see sometimes empty objects. That is not how it should be. For example, I see Konda as alive. Whenever I go to sleep with him, I see him as alive. I see him as one with me. And that is how you curse. No, that is how you bless items, my brothers and sisters. You bless them with your draconic energy. That is also a part of draconic magic. The magic that you use to let objects become alive.